What's up everyone, TheGame2k2 here again for another movie review, and today I'm continuing my review of the Halloween franchise with Halloween H20. After Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, a sequel had been announced due to the surprising financial success of the movie. However, every single Halloween fan, myself included, thought that the sequel would continue the same story. That would turn out to be false. In fact, H20 is a direct sequel to Halloween 2 and erases the stories from Halloween 4 through 6. The story centers around Laurie 20 years after that horrific night. She now lives in a very secluded town in California where she works as a teacher. She has a teenage son who she is very overprotective of, and he doesn't want to listen to her past anymore. He repeatedly asks her to go on a field trip on Halloween with the rest of his school, but she declines. He and his friends then decide to have a little get-together by themselves. His mom finally agrees to let him go, and he believes that he's going to go, but stays behind to be with his friends without her knowledge. However, an unexpected guest shows up to the town to wreak havoc. Laurie's brother Michael returns to find her and goes on another killing spree. This is easily the best sequel in the franchise. Not only does it have a good story, but it matches the style perfectly to what the original Halloween was, but keeps it modern as well. The story is good because it's kept simple. The story to the original Halloween was simple. It didn't go into extreme detail about everything, and the same can be said for H20. Granted that H20 does have to juggle the whole brother-sister relationship started in Halloween 2, but even then, this story is much easier to follow than any of the previous sequels. However, a lot of people question Laurie faking her death because it didn't make much sense at first. However, everyone did find it believable that she would want to get as far away from Haddonfield as possible, given everything that had happened. But I thought her faking her death made perfect sense. When you experience the things she did, why not try to start over and begin a new life separate from that one? Now, to be fair, I was a little disappointed that the character of Jamie was cut out. Apparently they did originally mention her in the script but wrote it out, but I thought that would have been interesting. I do like H20's style because it's not extremely gory. It does get very violent in the end, but it's not the bloodbath violence of the previous sequels and other horror franchises, and I think that was a good idea. Most horror movies have become nothing but bloodbaths with little story. Halloween H20 is one of very few modern-day horror movies that doesn't take that route. The character development is much better this time around. The movie lets you learn about each character, so it's no longer the faceless characters that appeared in Halloween 5 and 6. The teenage characters are also very well written. They've given them their own personalities and are not the over-the-top teenagers that are usually seen in these types of movies. The adult characters are also very down-to-earth as well. Again, they're given their own personalities and their conversations are very realistic. Some movies make adult conversations too intelligent and sometimes not intelligent enough. H20 hits it right on the button. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see a real mother-son conversation in a movie, when John gets caught out of school and Laurie curses at him, that's about as realistic as it's going to get. However, even good sequels come with issues. One of the biggest differences between the first Halloween and Halloween H20 is its slow pace. H20's story is pretty slow when compared to the original and does seem to drag in the middle of the movie. Then, of course, there's the subjects that everyone loves to bring up, and that's Michael Myers' mask and the movie's score. According to Dimension, there were a total of 4 masks that were used in the movie, and the issue I have with this is that it makes Halloween H20 look like one of the worst edited films ever, because the mask keeps changing from shot to shot. The movie's score is a mixed bag for me. I love the Halloween theme for this movie. However, they do steal some music from Scream to replace some of Ottman's original score, which I thought was a dumb move. The acting is loads better this time around. Jamie Lee Curtis is spectacular as Laurie. To be honest, I don't find Jamie Lee Curtis to be that great of an actress, but I do love her performances in all the Halloween movies that she's been in. I had never heard of Josh Hartnett before H2O, but his performance is very good too. I also like Adam Arkin's performance as well. I was also not too familiar with Michelle Williams. The only work I knew her from was Dawson's Creek, which was starting to gain popularity during this time. Williams is a great actress, and H2O was one of the first films to really show it. Adam Honberg gives a good performance as well as Charlie. It took me years to recognize him as the kid from Jumanji. Jodie Lynn O'Keefe also gives a nice performance. In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of hers because most of the time her acting is very poor, but H2O is definitely one of her better performances. Then there's LL Cool J as Ronnie, and I have to admit I was pretty skeptical, but he actually doesn't do a bad job. I've seen worse, like Busta Rhymes in the next Halloween movie. Then, of course, there is the greatest cameo in the world by Janet Leigh. Last but not least, we have the man inside the mask playing Michael Myers. Chris Duran takes the job as Myers and is easily the best Michael Myers since Nick Castle in the original. They finally make Michael human again. He's no longer the robot that was in the previous sequels. Overall, Halloween H2O is the best sequel in the franchise. It might have its flaws, but if you're someone who absolutely loved the original, you will definitely love Halloween H2O. Well, everyone, that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.